We found the load in the river in another county.
We let it pass by.
It was out of our jurisdiction, unfortunately. That cum was halfway to the Gulf of Mexico by now, friend.
The podcast.
Do tell. You okay?
Sorry,
Do you have some shit on your face?
There's a piece of long shit on my face, so I had to pull it like a rope.
Well, recently I literally pulled, and our guest, when we introduce him, can attest to this. I recently pulled something off my face. It was a hair as long, it was about 12 inches long. It was a white hair, and it was just sticking out from my cheek. And I believe it literally unfurled overnight because I had never seen it before. Yeah, it was really growing out. It was growing out of my cheek.
Oh my God. That's like a horror movie.
Is this the snail mucin? Is this? So I've been recently using the snail mucin, as we all know, and that just like happened pretty soon after I started. So I'm not really sure, but I called our guest into the bathroom because we live together. And
this is kind of giving away who it might be. But...
Oh my God. Okay.
We don't know.
Shut the fuck up. Who is that? Hey,
What?
I need to ask you something right now. It's really urgent. What is your thing this week, Victor? Because I really don't know.
Well, my thing this week is one of the most talented people I've ever gotten to see perform on stage. And now in everyone's homes across America.
East Coast, I think, a little more so.
Well, that's a huge part of America for me.
That's their problem, yeah. That's like the rest of America's missing out. He needs to be on nationwide. But
exactly.
Continue. Yeah.
And for me, my thing this week is someone who has helped us actually a ton with this very medium. Okay. This person was here for us when we were in the trenches, when my radiator was popping off in the early spring, late winter. And Hannah Mosier was on our last episode. Stu was there to save the day. And yeah, it ended up not working, but this person, my thing this week is Stuart Hicar. Yeah. Have you heard of him?
Are you shitting me? No, you're shitting me, right? Because
no,
I was just on the East Coast. I was just in New York City and New Jersey. I was bopping around for a family event. And on our drive back from New Jersey, I said I needed to get something from the store. Well, we go into a grocery store. It's called Stop and Shop. And I said,
I've heard of Stop and Shop.
Yes. So I go.
I love their produce section. I love their foods that they offer.
A lot of people love Stop and Shop on the East Coast. I believe it's like the 13 original colonies is kind of like where these are more so located.
They're sticking with that as the branding.
No, but it's just kind of like the way I organize it in my brain, I guess. I don't know if that's right, but really, people in Boston, they love Dunkin' Donuts. They love Stop and Shop. So I'm going into the grocery store of Stop and Shop, and I'm going, what in the hell? I'm seeing a poster in the very front. I'm walking through the sliding glass doors, and I start running to it. It's literally our it girl, our IT guy, as you said, the guy that saved the day. And last but not least, my boyfriend. Stuart. And he is on a poster in the front of the grocery store telling the shoppers about deals that they could be getting. So I run towards it, and I'm so overjoyed with pride. And let me tell you, if you're watching the Mets game, if you're at a physical therapy appointment and the TV's on, if you're watching cable, your morning news, these are all situations I've heard where people go, Stuart's on my TV. And he is Justin from Stop and Shop. That's his character.
That's such a good name.
When do you want me to join this podcast? Sorry. My bad. Stepped on some toes there. I'll just lay back. I'll lay back in the cut. You let me know.
So my thing this week is Stuart Hicar because I am so proud of him and he's helped us out so much with this podcast as our it girl. And I just want to bring him the hell in here. What do you think?
I think it's, and I'll say one more thing. Sorry, Stu.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I will say one more thing. We were so excited to have Stu on, like, regardless of
his
all
fame.
connection that we have to him. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that he is someone that just makes so much sense for this podcast. So I just like to say that there's no nepotism at all going on here. Okay.
Because all it takes to be on this podcast is to just like book something really, really huge. Okay.
Yes, that's all it takes.
He did that without our help.
Thank you.
Without our help.
That's all it takes.
What's important is that because we're having him as soon as he can join in. Since we're having him in on the podcast, he's gonna bring us kind of into the limelight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stratosphere. He's gonna launch us into fame.
Hold
so
on
I'm
a
just
minute.
so excited.
Am I like a stretch guest for you guys? Are you like, oh, this is the guy who's really going to get everything off the ground for us?
So we hadn't brought you in officially yet. We didn't.
So who's that voice? Was that God?
Sorry about that.
Hey, let's let Stuart in.
Yeah, let's let him in. Come on in.
Oh my God! I can't believe it. We get
hey,
to talk
guys.
to our thing.
Thank you. Wow, it's unbelievable. It felt so good to sit here and watch you both say that your big interest of the week was me.
Yes.
It feels really good, and I can't wait to, the amount of different kind of conversations we're going to have, knowing that all three of us are sort of just talking about me this week. Feels exciting. I'm pumped to be here, and I just want to put a note out about the whole nepotism thing. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation in the trades right now about that kind of stuff, right?
And baby, I'm just so excited to be your long-term girlfriend at this point in your life, because you are successful and you are doing it for both of us.
And who knew when we first got together? I think I was definitely planning that you would sort of be carrying me on your coattails.
No, because look at this. He went to the Stop and Shop headquarters about a couple weeks ago. Look what they gave me.
Oh, I'm
Stop and
jealous.
Shop name tag. Carly.
Not everybody gets one of those. Only
That's
the employees
so cool.
of the store.
Yeah, and me. I should start playing pranks. What do you think, babe? Should I start playing pranks as an employee at the store?
I know you've always sort of been a prankster at heart, sort of a trickster, a mischief girl. So I really, I love that for you. And I just want to say, when it comes to nepotism, the way to deal with it is just say it's not real, right? Like it isn't. Yes. Obviously, it's a fact that I'm here because of talent and not because of Carly.
Stuart, shut up.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. I've been a dawdler for longer than the podcast has been around. I remember back when this podcast was going to be a Formula One after the race breakdown with the two of you, and you were thinking, let's just focus on cars, right? And then you sort of switched into more of a conversational, sort of fun comedy thing. But regardless, I've just always been a fan of you two, so it's an honor.
Stuart, I have a really groundbreaking question for you. What did you think was going to happen to the podcast when Victor and I both admitted that we had 2015 MacBooks? And we said, let's record. And then we tried, and I yelled for you from the other room. I said, I think you have to be our IT guy.
Yeah.
Because Victor and I's computers keep shutting down.
I seem to remember you sort of being on the edge of tears for a lot of time. And then you got a new computer. And then I think it was the next test record when Victor revealed that his computer was also 10 years old and was also not working the first time, which is something, normally you want to bring up during that first recording. But we were so sure it was Carly's fault at the time.
Well, Victor and I had been planning this podcast for about a year before our first test recording.
Mm-hmm.
And not once do we think to compare IT.
We were
that's okay.
Well, the tech is the last thing we need to worry about for a cross-country podcast.
100%. Yeah, this is long distance, but the tech is who gives a shit? It's really about your guys' connectiveness, emotion, and topics that we're talking about, right? Computer have nothing to do with it.
Stuart, you have been a performer in Chicago and Los Angeles and New York City. I've seen you perform there. You've been a performer all across this country. You've been improviser, a sketch comedian. I mean, you have been a staple in the comedy community of the United States for a long time. So I'm just like really.
Well, the original 13 colonies. That's
at least.
Well, he's going on tour there soon to the 13
Yeah,
original
I'm doing what I'm calling
colonies.
it the Continental Tour. I'm retracing the steps of all the members of the original Continental Congress of 1738. And obviously, I just want to give a little bit of love.
colonialism back.
Yeah, it's me and
Justin
Timbaland.
from Stop and Shop knows where it's at.
Yeah, that was good.
with
Have you guys seen Timbaland's like AI friend, the girl he does songs with now?
Oh no.
No,
I'm sorry to bring this down.
Wait, what?
Timbaland has like a CGI AI artist who he like produces beats for, and then she sings, your classic like AI like, I am in a car and I'm driving to a bar and I'm having lots of friends inside of my head kind of thing. It's cool. I don't know. Look it up. Maybe check it out.
We haven't gotten far enough with AI for that to work, I don't think.
You know about Tilly Norwood?
Oh, Tilly Norwood.
It's
She
the biggest
is.
bitch I've ever met in my life. Sorry.
Yes.
Screen Actors
I hate
Guild.
to talk bad
capital-
about all their
The
actors.
Screen
Capital
Actors
B.
Guild does not claim her. They didn't legitimize that.
She
so.
smells like shit.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank goodness. No, she smells. She smells awful, and we can say that.
Well, what not a lot of people talk about with AI is that AI stinks like shit. Like literally. Like not a
one's
lot of
saying
people are
that.
saying that.
Yeah.
That's so,
Why is
wait,
that?
You know what I just noticed? And sorry to
Please.
completely derail the conversation, but all of our names have car in them.
Victor Carlesi, Stuart Hicar, Carly. And you know what's crazy is if Stuart and I were to get married, and I'm sorry to bring that up right now, but if Stuart and I were to get married, Carly Hicar.
That
That's
sounds
sick.
awesome.
I think
Is it
people call
awesome
you
or
Car
is
Car.
it insane? Car. Well, people already do. And then my nickname growing up from my mom that a lot of my friends call me is Car Sue. And because I looked like a character called Curly Sue, and it kind of got out of hand.
Carly
And
Sue.
She also calls you
and
Sumo.
Sumo. My grandpa called me that because I looked like a sumo wrestler as a baby. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. I'm not claiming that, but he said that. So Car Stew. You know what I mean? It's like everything. Stuart and I are just like so, and so that's why Stuart's gonna get me a job soon because it's like everything really.
I could be wrong, but didn't I actually get you a job that you just did yesterday? Do you want to tell your dawdlers about it?
Basically, if you see an ad for Pretty Litter pop up in your algorithm, that is me. So just
Wait, you're
manifest.
physically in it?
Yeah, I'm physically in it because
Carly, that is huge.
Stuart. You like that?
You like that?
Oh, you like
fucking
that?
like
You
that?
sick fuck?
Kitty litter
What the
ad?
hell?
You like kitty litter? Oh my god.
You like when I
Or
run my hands through
Facebook.
cat litter? You like that?
Oh no, I just stepped in a big thing of kitty litter.
I was honored to be had, and I was honored to be referred.
That's
And
so cool.
and I was hoping I was doing Stuart's reputation proud on the set.
I'm sure of it.
100%.
But I really like Stuart has been my thing because of course on the podcast we have thingy, thing, and thing.
I'm
And
just
that's the
learning
level-
about this.
and
Yeah.
thing. So
Right.
Stuart has been my thing for about 6 years, ever since we met and then became boyfriend and girlfriend. We've been almost boyfriend and girlfriend for 6 years. So he's been my thing. I really am obsessed with him, and I love him so much. He's the best. So I'm so excited. Genuinely, I'm so happy that people get to see him on TV because it's like, yeah, that's what we've been talking about, fools. I've been telling you Stuart's awesome for all this time, and now we're like, oh, Stuart's so awesome because he's on TV. Yeah.
Is this what most of the
that.
episodes are like? It's just like you guys absolutely loving on the guest. It's nice. It's a good feeling.
This is actually kind of new. We sort of do the lovey stuff, and then we break off into the main meat of the episode. But yeah, we could keep doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, don't let
do you
me
like
drive
it?
the bus, okay? I'm just a passenger.
Aw. Okay. Hey, but Stuart, I have a question for you. And I think Victor does too.
Yeah, we're gonna
What
ask you at the
is
same
your-
time. What is
What is your thing
right
Oh.
now?
week and right
this week?
now?
Really good. That was like
What's
it had
your
an
thing
echo.
right now this
It was
week?
perfect. It's interesting because when I was asked to go on Do Tell, obviously I got nervous because this is a huge platform. This is
your
kind
baby.
of like, yeah, in a lot of ways, this is really important to my household, right? And so I wanted to make sure I did
gotta
this
get the
right.
hell out of the house. We have to record.
Right. Normally I get sent out of the house. And Carly's, currently sitting at the desk I would often record a podcast from. And it's a beautiful desk. And it's a lovely setup.
Not his today.
But when I had to come up with like, what's my thing? It was really, I was worried. I was scared. I didn't know what I was going to choose because this really defines you as a person, your thing. We like to pretend it doesn't, but what are we if not a makeshift bucket full of things that make a person, eh?
Yeah.
And so,
well, hey,
An
Stuart,
automaton of sorts.
should I bring up the fact that I think people may relate heavily to this? And it goes a bit into the origin story of us and the podcast. So if I may share, on Stuart and I's third date, Stuart and I were walking around C2E2, which is a convention, a Comic-Con in Chicago, and I had a Dungeons and Dragons show that was performing there, and Stuart was working a booth. So it wasn't like an official date, but we had been on a couple dates and we knew we were both going to be there. So we're like, let's go for a walk around. And of course we're in a place where everyone has things. It's literally Comic-Con. That's people's thing. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
And so Stuart asks me
casually, I casually ask her.
He asked me he goes, what are you a nerd about?
That's the vibe.
True, and you got to remember, we're at the Comic-Con, we're at the House of Nerds, and it is it's a place where whatever you're into, you can find a couple of other people who are very into that thing. And we've gone on a few dates. It's I was just trying to see hey, Carly, what are you a fan of? What do you like?
And I went completely cold. I went quiet. I started going, I don't know. Well, at one
Carly
point,
had a panic attack.
I was like, well, I do improv, and that
and I was like, yeah, I know, we met through that. Yeah, what else are you into?
Well, I like to
I'm a girl.
perform, and I'm a girl. and I have bangs, and I used to love Harajuku, when I was in sixth grade, and Hello Kitty, and I just was so embarrassed because I was I'm the least interesting.
Why did that come up?
I don't know. It was just such it was Carly diving so deep into anything she's ever been interested in that and I'm this doesn't have to be a hard quote. You don't even have to answer it if you don't want. I was just making conversation.
Harajuku girls. Unfortunately, I did not realize how problematic that era of Gwen Stefani was when I was in fifth grade and diving deep into that.
It's so funny to just bring that out.
Yeah. Oh, and it was quick too.
Because I was like, who am I? And I go back to sixth grade. I go Harajuku girls.
Interesting move.
I just was I used to collect little toys from those little money toys. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever do those? It was such a specific time in my life. I think it was before I was worried about what people thought was cool. So I just had things. I didn't have any things after that.
How does this roll into the podcast today? Have you changed since then?
I do think, Stuart. And thank you. And I'm glad that now we're talking about me instead of what your thing is. But
pretty good, huh?
But throughout our relationship and throughout my 20s, I've become more aligned with myself again on what my things are, and I've allowed myself more to indulge in extracurricular interests that might not feed into a career per se, but actually benefit me so much just as a person. So I that's always something I want to encourage people to think about when they're listening to our podcast, and hopefully they gain inspiration from our podcast. Because I once was having a panic attack, a little minor one, on a date when asked about what I'm a nerd about, what my thing is, basically. So anyways, that's part of our origin story, and it was top of mind. I wanted to share.
I'm glad. I'm glad you got that out. I agree.
Yeah.
That was a really defining moment, I think, for us. And over the last 6 years, I have seen you grow so much as a person, as a woman.
You have so many. Thank you. And so you have so many things, though. And I think that's something that intimidated me was that Stuart is someone who always has so many things. He has things. He's got thingies, and he has things like always.
Yeah.
Always. So what's your thing
is...
this week?
Well, I guess I would describe myself as a person who's a mile wide and an inch deep, you know, in terms of like, I know an enormous amount about a lot of things, but I'm not an expert on almost anything. So I think is the way I would describe myself. Carly's giving me the look of, what?
Well, you could just talk for a long time about a lot of things.
I can talk for a long time about anything, though. That's just because I like the sound of my own voice. That's not my
great
thing, you
voice.
know?
You both have great voices.
Come on, Victor.
It's true.
And there's a third great voice.
No,
yeah, Connor.
My voice is really great.
Oh, sorry. No, we all have very nice voices, I think, personally.
Yeah.
But
Victor's
again,
a really good
we're not
singer,
talking voices.
too.
We're talking things, and we just keep getting distracted because we're friends and having fun, right?
I know, this is so fun.
So I have a few things that I wanted to bring up. That
put your hands down.
One of Victor's
Sorry,
things.
it's just like distracting whenever like there's like stuff in the shot. So
stuff in the shot. You want to talk about the mattress behind you?
Stop the mattress company.
Don't say the name. Don't say the name. They're not paying you. No, but I have multiple things. I have many things that I guess I like to do with my time. And here's the thing, guys. We're going to be jumping from thing to thing today. We're just going to be having fun.
I love it.
And the first thing, and this was a thing that united Carly and I as well when we started dating, something I've been a fan of. I grew up in a small town in Colorado, up in the mountains, and moved to Chicago when I was 18. But before that, I was a big a fan of the Denver Nuggets. That's right, the NBA team. We're talking basketball today, Victor, and I can already see you turning your hat around.
Basketball.
We're talking basketball.
I think this is great timing for you to bring basketball into the the Dawdlers universe because
Basketball is my favorite
NBA
sport.
season is starting, and
I like the way they dribble up and down the court.
Okay, yeah.
No,
If you're looking for a team to root for, Stuart can tell you basically everything you need to know about the Denver Nuggets, which is also my favorite team, by the way. So you.
What's your favorite team?
And then in the NBA, yeah.
Yeah, we should in the NBA. But I think we should define, like, when we were first dating, obviously the pandemic happened pretty quick after we started dating, and so we needed things to like watch together and be like, oh, we're watching this and we're kind of talking about it or whatever. And there were a few things we picked, but I watched basketball pretty often, and Carly was like, ooh, I want to get into that. I'll watch basketball. And she was at the time also kind of lying about having already been a big fan, and she watches a lot of basketball or whatever. So it was like a casual, you know, your classic like, oh yeah, I'm into that too kind of thing when you start dating someone. But Carly tried to get into it by essentially she went online and looked up like how to watch basketball for free. And she found a site called, what was it, swish.net?
Swoosh.net. Swoosh.
Swoosh.net. Swoosh.
Swoosh.net.
And swoosh.net charged her $5. She gave them her credit card information. And then they disappeared from the internet and were never seen from again.
Wait.
And Carly was too embarrassed to talk to me about it. So she just sort of ate the charge on her credit card for a while until she got a new card.
For a year.
Wait, it was like a monthly subscription?
For $5 a month.
For nothing. For absolutely nothing. This was just a scam on a website that Carly was like, well, swoosh.net, that's the sound of basketball makes in a net. This is probably it.
That is a great name for a company.
Right? Like, literally, kudos to those scammers. Well,
Yeah,
Victor's lights just turned off.
They got your ass. I think that like I really liked the feeling of someone, you know, when I heard this story months later, I really liked the feeling that like Carly was going out of her way to try and do something nice to connect with me as an adult
Well, I wanted
man.
to text him and be like, this game's this game's so awesome. You know, and he'll be like, oh, you're watching? You know, I wanted to like kind of be like, oh, yeah, like, because we had been on just a few dates before the pandemic, before quarantine. We weren't seeing each other. So I was like wanting to really like impress in a way. And then finally I realized, okay, it's $1,000 to watch basketball through the proper channels. So I actually need to get somebody to send me like a Reddit link to an illegal stream. Finally, one of my other guy friends sent it to me, and then I was able to pull up the plan off, and Stuart didn't know until about a year later when I was like, thank God my card information has to change because I didn't know how to get out of swoosh.net.
And before we get too far from it, I just want everyone out there to know this: when Carly says another guy friend, she doesn't have any of those anymore. Okay, I've gotten those out of her life. It's just me now.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, and I'm so grateful. Oh, love you.
But yeah, basketball is kind of my thing. I'm not good at it. I played it as a little kid, but I describe my body this way as sort of like, it's a little amorphous, you know? It fits the shape of the container it's poured into.
We encourage all of our listeners to describe their bodies.
Yes,
so
that's good.
We're getting ahead of that. Right, Victor?
Yeah, I mean, radio after all.
Sure. They can't see my butt.
Yeah, they're not going to be seeing this.
Bummer.
Mattress. I think
Mattress by
Victor. Like I really like the Denver Nuggets, and a big part of that is because there's a player on the team named Nikola Jokic, who, if you're not a basketball fan, maybe you've heard of. He's a big Serbian guy who does not like being famous, who doesn't really like playing basketball very much, but he's the best player in the world. And all he wants is to retire from basketball so he can race horses in Serbia. And there's something that I really connect about this. Like, he's not fast. He's not, like, athletic. He's kind of chunky. And he's, like, when you watch this big, chunky, tall, white guy playing basketball, it sort of reminds me of how I feel like I would look playing basketball. I wouldn't be nearly as good as him, but there's something really connective about seeing yourself in the media you're watching. You know, it's representation in a lot of ways.
He looks like Groot from Despicable Me, and they had an amazing commercial with him about a year ago where he played Groot in like a commercial campaign, and all the minions were following him around, and he had a little scarf on and, you know, the whole outfit, and he turns around and he goes, "Guys, I am not your boss."
He crushed that line, by the way.
Wait, is that a Serbian accent? Like, what is Groot's accent?
Groot is, I think if you ask Steve Carell, he would describe it as stereotypical. Yeah, probably just like average Europe. I don't think they want to nail down a single country as being despicable, obviously.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Well, yeah, it does.
But where was Vector from? America.
Vector. Oh,
Vector. AKA me whenever I have a bowl cut. Okay. Victor Vector.
Oh, yeah. That was a Vector quote. Victor.
That's so hilarious.
My English teacher in my junior year of high school used to call me Victor Vector.
Why is that?
Because due to the Despicable Me movies.
Wow. Good for them. I'm glad they were watching new movies, having fun with it.
They've been making those for a while. Huh.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. So, Stu.
Yeah, sorry.
So, sorry, just to cut away from Despicable Me for 1 second.
Just for a second.
Just for 1 minute. But, so you love the Denver Nuggets. Now, can you tell us a bit about the team this year and what you're looking forward to in the season? Because if I'm like, okay, like he loves the Denver Nuggets, can you just tell me kind of why and why you're rooting for them like this year?
This year? Why I'm rooting for them this year?
Or in general.
I don't know, because I'm from
into
Colorado,
them?
and that's sort of how sports work, right? It's this thing of like, well, I'm tied to this place forever, and so I have to root for what I'm connected to. And we've really seen these guys rise and fall, haven't we, Carr? They won a championship just a few years ago, and I think they've got a big chance this year as well. But again, this is Sporto talk, right? This is Sporto talk on Do Tell, and that's why I'm thinking to myself, is this my thing? Is this the thing I bring on Do Tell, or do I choose one of my many other things? Victor, I brought a couple of things today, and I want you to choose kind of what we go deepest on. Okay?
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm so excited.
Yes. It's not every day we have a thing savant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have a thing wizard. The wizard of
wow. Thing. An expert on
God.
thing.
We have a wizard of thing.
Ting.
Oh,
well,
wait, sorry. Connor we got a producer note. What's our vector, Victor, is a joke from the classic comedy film Airplane. So we're going to cut that out because I should know about that. Just kidding.
Wow.
That's what I thought it might be from, but I was like, maybe you have a young English teacher or whatever. Was it English?
Yeah, she wasn't young enough.
I love a young teacher.
Say less. Say less about that. So, what were we saying?
We were talking about my
Stuart
many
was
things.
Gonna list. Stuart was going to list.
We have a
Go
lot
ahead.
of things, and we can go deep on any of these. These are just, again, as Carly brought up, and for those who maybe don't know out there, I've recently become a very, very casual worker in terms of I have a weird
Spokesperson.
actor's schedule where like I do a bunch of work randomly and then I like don't do anything, and it feels very weird and strange as a person who has kind of had many jobs for the past rest of his life to make things happen. So now I sort of have to figure out ways to fill my days like a retiree. And so I've been doing retiree things. And one of my other things, this is a classic, middle of the day, going to the driving range. Oh boy.
I love the driving range.
The driving range is a special place for only people who are retirees and actors. And in Hollywood, you can tell immediately who's who by how much they smoke while they're at the driving range. And I really love it there. It's like it's a real community. It's just like me and a bunch of like ancient, cool Japanese guys in the nicest khakis you've ever seen, and they just like chain smoke Marlboro hundreds, like long cigarettes,
Oh, so the
and just like
actors
hit
aren't
balls.
smoking.
I think this is the Japanese episode because we
Oh.
mentioned
Really?
Harajuku.
Oh.
We mentioned Carly was a sumo wrestler when she was a baby.
No, we don't need
And
to
Carly,
do
where are we
that.
going in February?
We are going to Japan in February.
What?
We're going because I'm dating a spokesperson of a grocery store chain now. So
Wait,
he's whisking me away.
excuse the fuck out of me. That is
know.
so fun.
I know I finally
Carly's
get to
been
go to the
keeping this from you?
Harajuku district.
Carly, that's so cool.
I'm really excited. I'm so excited. Justin from Stop and Shop is taking me to Japan. I'm so pumped.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do a lot of fun things like big arcades. We're gonna go to onsens, and we're gonna eat at 7-Eleven, which apparently they have really good food at the 7-Elevens in Japan.
And other places too, not just it's 7-Eleven will be fun, but that's not. I'm that we'll go to a restaurant too, probably once or twice.
Now we're in a fight. Because you said that. No,
Wait, that's
only at 7-Eleven.
So cool. I love this.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
very
oh.
exciting. So I guess this is
life
going
has
to
been
be
exciting.
Do Tell featuring Stuart Hicar in parentheses the Japan episode.
We're
No.
Hicar song.
Whoa,
Stuart
I love
Hicar.
that, and I won't say it, but you can.
Okay, so going to the driving range is another one of your things.
Yeah, I do it like once, twice, 3 times a week, something like that. It's very, very fun and relaxing, and it gives me like a reason to be outside in the sun for like an hour and a half on a nice day. And again, it's just weird to try and fill your day with things at like noon on a Tuesday. And that actually brings us into another one of my things.
Fuck.
That's
is
right.
Oh my
This
God.
one is also just me trying to fill out my days as a weird person. I'm going to 11 a.m. matinees of whatever's at the movie theater, baby.
Period.
That's
my
right.
thing. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. This is like, it makes sense. It's fun. And in LA, and this is the best part, I walk into a movie theater at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. You're thinking to yourself, oh, you're there alone? No, it's
No.
50 guys who look exactly like me, all wearing baseball hats and graphic
Oh my
tees
God,
with
you're-
mustaches.
You're in the Squidward town where everyone.
Truly, it truly is. I'm in like Squidville or whatever the fuck they call it, where they all have the same house and play. And he bikes and he gets sadder and sadder. And I feel that if this was all I did, I do think I would get sadder and sadder, realizing like, oh, we've all of us white movie boys have locked ourselves away here on the West Coast to just live our fake little lives, haven't we? But it is something like very I don't know, affirming to who I am as a person, that like the thing I want to do at like brunch time on a weekday is also the thing that all these other film school boys want to do. And I don't know, it feels really nice. Victor, if you ever come out here to the
Stuart.
West Coast, I'll take you to an 11:30 showing of whatever you want, babes.
I literally, whenever I was living in like my hometown for a while after I moved back from like after college, after New York vibe,
Hell yeah.
all I would do, it was MoviePass summer, I called it, and I would see a movie every day. And
Oh,
it was
baby.
just like, that was like that was all I could do. But I was truly by myself in those moments. But there is something that's so true of the things that we find interesting once we move to a large enough city. Once we move to an area where there's people like us, it's so like grounding, and you don't feel as weird.
You don't feel like an outcast. Because I was also, and I'm glad you brought up MoviePass, because that was such an iconic era for me, where I believe that I am at least partially responsible for their business going under.
Totally.
I genuinely, like, I would have classes downtown during college. And between classes, I would try and make sure that I'd have 2-hour periods. And I would go to EMC multiple times a day and just go see whatever they had.
Wouldn't you do your homework?
Yeah, I would do my homework in the back. I'd be on my computer. Because there's like empty theaters. Because it was like 1 p.m. and they're showing The Winchester House, a horror movie no one remembers. But I, Tonya, for sure. Or like 13 Strong, the Great Soldiers of Afghanistan, or so, like all these garbage movies that don't even exist. But it's like, well, I've got 2 hours and I can see it for free, so why don't I go in there? I genuinely must have seen $40,000-$50,000 worth of movies over the few month period that I had MoviePass, and I think I paid them like in total $70. Like, it was such a broken piece of capitalism that I was like, well, why not? Let me go hard.
It was the bubble like that. Yes. It was like so indicative.
I've never felt a bubble so tangibly where I'm like, there's no part of the economics here that even sort of makes sense. So I might as well just ride this till the end. And then I don't know if you were there for it, but I remember the weekend Mission Impossible Fallout was coming out, and MoviePass
that was the one I saw, Carly.
Because we were talking about Mission Impossible in one of our last episodes, and Victor's like, I've seen one of them. I've seen one of them. He wasn't remembering.
It was Fallout, I bet.
Free. Yeah.
Yes, that was so many people took MoviePass to go see that movie that they did not have enough money to purchase the tickets for their users, and the thing went bankrupt like the day of. It was crazy to watch happen, but I just remember so specifically reading the email going like, whoa. Hey, everybody, your MoviePass might not be working all of a sudden, and it's because of this, and this. And I'm like, wow, that's the end of that one. So long, MoviePass. It's been a good time while it lasted.
But now we have AMC A-List, which has been huge for our social life in LA because it is $20-something a month, and it's the cheapest way to hang out with friends in LA. At least LA.
Well,
because
it's important.
We could just go to the mall, which mall culture is huge in LA, of course.
Still is.
Still thriving.
It is.
It's one of those weird things about LA. They have 2 or 3 malls that straight up feel like it's like 1998 when you go there. It's like shoulder to shoulder.
Food courts bustling.
Kids just having a good time. I was at the mall very recently, and a kid on an electric bike, like 8 years old, like drove through the mall, and there were 3 other little kids filming with their phones, and a security guard like half jogging after them. And I was like, this is like real life happening right here at the mall.
And what time was it? On what day?
It was okay. It was like 11 a.m. on a Wednesday or something.
Yeah, right?
But I'm saying, like, shouldn't those kids be in school or something? Like, what's happening?
That's actually so true.
Mall for you. I bet they skip school to go to the mall.
Stuart, if you don't mind me saying, I do think I'm actually catching on to what your thing really is.
Wasting time.
No, your thing is becoming a working actor.
Yes.
Wow. Because you are now navigating the world in a way that, like, your thing is getting your dream job in a way, one of your, like, a type of dream job.
Yeah.
There's, as artists, it's like we're throwing everything against the wall, seeing what sticks. A lot of people are doing that with their careers, no matter if you're an artist or not.
Well, yeah, and Carly, you saw my vision board that I put together when I was 9, and Stop and Shop mascot was definitely like the number one thing on there.
Hey, spokesperson. You're not a mascot. You're a spokesperson.
Sorry. Spokesperson, brand representative.
I actually like mascot.
I think mascot's better for me because it lets me like disconnect that it's me in the stuff. It can be like that's a big character I play instead of just like, oh wait, that is just me. I'm just doing a slightly higher voice in all these commercials. But yeah, I don't know. I think it is a dream, and you're right about me becoming a working actor. Mm-hmm. It's a weird lifestyle, and the amount of people who live it here in Hollywood and LA. I don't know how this town isn't just like full of weirdos and creeps.
It is. 100%.
Do you think? Now I have a question.
It's twisted out here.
Do you think that's why some actors have, a side gig? Like, do you think that's why Ashton started that company?
Oh, Ashton Kutcher.
Do you think that's
'cause
why
he's
Ashton
bored?
got so deep into human trafficking software? Like, is that why? Genuinely, yes. I think it's because they are bored and someone
You have
emails
to be
them and
so
goes like,
bored for so
"Do you
long."
do you want to have a tequila brand?" And they're like,
Yes.
"Not fucking doing anything else." Okay, sure. You know, like if somebody texted me right now and was like, "Hey, Ryan Reynolds wants to start a new brand of aviation gin called like nautical rum." I don't know. Scratch that. But I would be
really
so
good.
in. I'd be in immediately just because I'd be like, okay, what does it entail? And they're like, you'll have to do some work. And I'm like, yeah, sure. My schedule is just so open right now. And I say that. And then, days like this come up where I have to record a podcast.
You have to.
And it's
Well,
like,
We'll have working actors on here. Sometimes they go, "Hey, I have a pod right after this too." And and we go, "All right, we just have to."
well,
we
I
have
didn't
to
want to
eat that.
I didn't want to
feeling.
tell you guys right after this. I'm actually going on Howard Stern. I'm doing a 2-hour full interview. I'm answering everything. Finally, I'm opening up. I'm going to give off my opinions on the Beatles too. So
Howard
Is he gonna have straight hair or curly hair
Stop
for
and
this?
Shop.
half of his hair is going to be straight, half of it's curly. He actually just got out of his hair appointment and realized he had to interview me, so it's actually kind of funny. But yeah,
Oh my gosh, Stuart, what was it like? What was it like on set of Stop and Shop? What was it like?
Did
kind
anyone
of
pull
just-
any pranks on set?
yeah. I like to think of myself a bit as a George Clooney figure,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Who I like to
How
play
so?
around. Well, so
Victor,
In what
Victor,
way?
don't know. Victor.
in what way at all?
Don't be a
George
shit.
Clooney famously
like
is
George
known as
Clooney.
the greatest prankster in Hollywood. He
No,
plays
he's
pranks.
not. That's
Yes.
Jared Leto. No,
No.
he's not. That's Jared Leto.
No, Jared Leto is the greatest actor in Hollywood.
No,
That's an easy mistake to make. He plays Ares in Tron Ares. Thank you very much. No,
My favorite
it-
My favorite line from Tron Ares is, "Delete him." Okay, but go on.
Hold on. Here's mine. That permanence code maybe should be called the impermanence code.
Oh no!
And everyone in the theater goes, "Whoa, you're right."
I remember I grabbed Paul's thigh whenever he said that. I was,
The fucking Nine Inch Nails soundtrack screaming into your ears as Jared
Honey-
Leto just like does nothing on the screen.
the soundtrack was really good. I really
rips.
liked
That's
that.
the thing.
Dang
All
music.
these Tron movies are like a thing where you're like, I should like this, shouldn't I? And you're watching it and you're like, I don't care about this at all. Like, I want to
this-
like this so bad.
This slow moving M-shaped mega structure through like a city. It's so
And you're sort of like,
slow.
okay, cool. And then Evan Peters shows
And
up.
they're like, "Oh, but they have to disappear in 20 minutes."
Yeah. You've got 29 minutes. This is your last cycle, Ares. God, we're such Tron fans. Honestly, we're Tron
I'm
freaks.
freaking not. I'm freaking not because I didn't go see it because every now and then, Stuart, I'll get home from work because I'm not a working actor yet, and
You still have the impermanent. You still have the
Kitty
impermanence
litter
code on
Yeah, you have the impermanence code, and Victor and I sort of have more of a permanence code.
but every now and then I'll get home and Stuart will be like, "Guess what I saw today?" I'll go, "Oh no, you saw Tron. I wanted to see Tron," but he goes, "I had to do something. I had to do something. I had to go."
Well,
to
to
the
be
theater."
fair, let's not make it seem. Carly says every single movie that comes to theaters, Carly goes, "Save that one for me. We're going to see that one together." And then it'll be like 3.5 weeks since it came out, and I'm like, well, there's one showing of Tron Ares today. I guess I should see that before it's out of theaters. And
What?
Carly's
What?
like, what?
That is such a good that it's an interesting concept because there is something so like a little bit like tongue in cheek / like forbidden. It makes like even the most Tron Ares of things a little bit more spicy when you know
It's
that
traitorous.
oh, maybe I shouldn't be
Yes.
doing this.
I saw
Maybe
the
someone wanted to see
Springsteen
this
movie.
with me. I'm going alone.
I feel bad. Carly wanted to see the Bruce Springsteen movie, and I saw
I
that
did.
alone at 11 a.m.
What?
on this week. And guess what? It's kind of a bummer of a movie. Kind of a sad
sad.
one. It's all about how Bruce has depression.
I would think it's about how he needs to slow down.
No,
Do you think the whole thing should be about his like he probably has arthritis?
probably speed up. Probably go faster, if anything. It's tough. It's a biopic. It's a musical biopic about him making his acoustic, depressed album in the 80s, Nebraska. And if you've listened to that album, you know, unless you're a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, this is a very samey album of sad-ass, kind of like, well, everyone in the town is sad tonight because anyone who had a job got shot. And
Have
you're
you
like,
guys ever
oh,
been in
man,
New Jersey when Bruce Springsteen comes on? Remember, Stuart, we were at a wedding in New Jersey and Bruce Springsteen came on? I had never seen a crowd such as that.
He's the boss. To them, he's a hero. And he's a great artist. It's just hard to make a musical biopic about, like, the most depressed, sad, slow time in an artist's life and then make the movie, like, interesting, you know? It's just sort of a bummer more than anything. But, again.
Now, Stuart, because I'm seeing that, you know, our timestamp of where
you
we're
want
at
more
in our
things?
recording, I do know you have more things, and I do want to ask, what else is your thing right now?
Yeah, let's not
As a
talk
working
Tron
actor-
Ares too much.
As a working actor who's filling his day by being a savant of things,
Thank you.
What else do you have cooking?
Yeah, well, this is a fun one, and I think I can put together a really nice podcast segue for you here. You know, a lot of critics would say that Jared Leto's performance in Tron Ares was a crime against cinema. But when I hear the word crime, I think of another thing of mine, which is I am an absolute
cop
glutton. Yeah. I am a law enforcement officer.
Ever since Stuart became a working actor, he also became a cop.
Yeah, I've sort of got a side gig where I'm also a cop. Yeah, I work the night shifts in the LAPD. I'm part of one of those skeleton gangs you hear about that it's blood in, blood out for us, homie. No, it's what am I saying? I absolutely love, and Carly can attest to this, I love the new level of documentary filmmaking and TV making that exists, which is creating absolute garbage slop true crime documentaries on Netflix, Hulu, HBO, whatever it is. I die to just watch these 3-episode series where they slowly tell you about a crime, and every single one of them ends exactly the same way, which is a 3rd episode where they go, in the end, we see that maybe this wasn't a criminal mastermind at all. Maybe the cops just didn't ask any of the white people in the town what happened. And we may never know exactly what did happen. But we had fun looking around, didn't we?
It's
and
always
then, like, credits roll.
Of justice. It's always the police.
It's always the same.
Dumb.
Every single one of these documentaries just has some cop on screen who's like, you know, you got to give them credit. They did as much as they could back then. And then some lawyer who's like, yeah, I mean, looking at it, they really did no work at all. They just grabbed the first person of color near the crime scene and just sort of tried to pin it on him for 15 years. So I don't know. We actually solved the crime just after a few months of just looking at it. So
we Googled it and found it on Facebook.
Truly, yeah, the answer's on Google. Actually,
night.
turns out
he updated his status about killing someone.
I mean,
the cops
that's like
never
you watch enough of these garbage documentaries, and you will get the understanding
that,
like
killed someone.
There are no like serial killer, mad genius people. None of those people exist. It's all just cops who are as bad at their job as you think they are.
I love the part of every one of those documentaries because, of course, I'm doing stuff.
You're hearing them in the background,
and I'm always going, "What? Oh, whoa, who is that?" And he's going, "You gotta sit down and watch." So, but one of my favorite parts is always when they're like, "Well, of course, back then we didn't really have phones, so we couldn't call the county over. But they had all the information we needed." Everyone, you had phones, you fuckers. It was the 80s. You had phones. You had phones. And you could have called.
Such a huge part of all the documentaries is like the Zodiac killer being thought of as like, he's a madman with his puzzles and genius little things you have to solve. And the secret is like, yeah, actually, the people in each county knew who it was, but none of them talked to each other. So the guy just sort of got away, lived the rest of his life, and died happy. You know, like, it's like you're just like, oh, okay.
They were like, the Zodiac killer was literally my dad, and I'm telling you,
yeah, I think it was him.
I saw the movie, and I went to all the places. He took me to all the places where he killed the people.
Well, but the issue is you told the cop that you told the cop that your dad was the Zodiac killer in this county, but we were going to decide in the county over. So we just
gotta remember,
didn't really.
Back then we didn't have cell phones and email and Facebook and everything like that.
All
They
these,
love doing
bad
that.
cops.
They love. You're so
being
right.
interviewed for the documentary, being like, "Oh, we didn't have phones."
And they're always the cops are always on the documentary, but they're also like reticent to talk about it because they can tell like I did a bad job and you just want to rub it in my face. So their first thing is like, yeah, lieutenant officer, I served for 35 years. I'm proud of the work we did. And by like the third section of their interview, they're like, yeah, fingerprints would have been great to have, if we did that, but we didn't. So what are we talking about it now for? And you're like,
what are we going to do?
Why did you
save the DNA until the technology comes around?
Why would you agree to be in this documentary if you are like visibly mad that people don't think you did a good job? Like, and that's like a new thing. And I want to bring this up because this is one that I just watched. It was called like A Deadly American Marriage. And they all have some fucking stupid name like that of like murder most loved and like some garbage like that. But in this one it was like
so sad.
A woman who clearly like killed her husband and then like tried to get everyone to think that he was like a monster, and she did it in self-defense and made her kids lie about it, and they're actually his kids, and she tried to like steal the kids and lied to people saying they were her biological children. So like she's a nutso. Here's the thing, she's in the documentary, like defending herself, and you're like, lady, why are you here? This is not helping you at all. Like the documentary.
Well, that was like the documentary, the true crime documentary about the mom who bullied her
texting
daughter.
Mom, there she is.
Was in she was the cyberbullying mom. She was in it the whole time. She was going, yeah, well, and then final episode, she was, I did that.
And we don't know who is doing it. It could have been anyone. And then she smiles and she's got those big teeth that only criminal moms have. And like,
yes.
You know what
That's
I mean?
really
You
true.
know the teeth.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know if you saw that one, Victor. I recommend that to
I did.
everyone because it's just such a fun watch in terms of like when they finally reveal it to be her and you're like, oh, the off-putting woman I've been looking at this entire documentary is bad? Great. I'm glad that I have some sense of like, I don't know. You like think about cops and you're like, watching this, I kind of feel like from the very start I saw this person's face and felt like, well, they're lying to me right now. And you got to think like, how much do cops have to fight against their natural senses to be like, well, this white mom certainly couldn't be the one doing this, even though everything in my head's telling me it's her. Got to be one of these other like POC bully kids at school. I'll hunt them down at night.
No, literally. And then the okay, I recently watched a doc that it was about. I think it was about the BTK killer.
Sure. Was it from his daughter's perspective?
That was that one.
Oh, I've seen it.
And they had like the police
there's
chief.
so many.
He has this giant bandage and like a black eye.
He like it looks like he just
could we
got like
avoid
brain surgery.
Like, like I shit you not, they were like hiding this enormous gauze square with like tape on his head. I'm like, was he like? Did
they
he
tried
get
to make it up
the
to
steps
look
or
like
something?
his skin too.
Yeah.
I realized like at the first time I saw him, I was like, what the hell? Like pause it. I'm like, something big on the side of his head.
That's a
there.
black eye. Yeah.
But again, that's another one of those documentaries that like the BTK killer is set up to be like, oh, he's this genius who leaves no DNA and he's taunting the police with letters and they're trying to catch him. And you watch the documentary and you're like, this guy's a moron. And these cops are just stupid too. And they're all just like, well, no one in the community thought it could ever be him. Although everyone in the community did think he was kind of a freaky monster who had like power weirdness and like was always telling them what to do and overstepping his bounds and like yelling at his kids and wife. And also his wife walked in on him like doing weird sadomasochistic binding stuff like a ton of times. And she just...
But like, we didn't have phones.
Yeah, so how are they going to find him?
Like it's anyway, so I love true crime slop so much because I think it is I think obviously I think there's probably something in it that is like destroying society just because it's like taking humanity and murder and all this horrible stuff and just like trying to make it as entertaining as possible for a person. And for that, I know you guys like letting your viewers know like what's something I could watch to get into this. I want to recommend like two things that I think are really, really good. And one's new and one's a little older. And the newer one is called The Perfect Neighbor, and it's on Netflix. And it's again, The Perfect Neighbor, The Deadly Marriage. You know, it's all true TV, like kind of. But in this one,
there's like short circuiting back there. He's going like this. I just looked at Victor, and he's going like this.
Oh, I'm like one of Floop's flugels. Batman, help us, save us.
So,
in this documentary, it's told entirely from the point of view of like body cam and interrogation footage, and there is absolutely zero like editorializing from a documentary standpoint. It's just like, we're just going to show you beginning to end the interactions these people had with this woman, this racist neighbor of theirs who yelled at their kids for playing in a field near her house.
So sad.
Incredibly sad, but I think it does a really good job of like showing you the actual human like interaction and like the horrible things that hit communities in these things that would otherwise just be like popcorn munching true crime garbage. It's like, well, how do you feel about that true crime when you have to see like the kid learn that his mom died, and you're watching and you're like, you're right, I'm sick. I'm like watching this as like, I'm like, this is like perverted, me watching this suffering in some way. Anyway, so if you like, you know, hurting yourself and feeling bad, that's a good one. And then this other one is called Not Insane but Crazy, or Not Crazy but Insane. It's one of those two. I don't remember exactly. It's on HBO, and it's the best thing in the world because it's essentially this psychiatrist woman, and the entire thing is just about her talking about how she's interviewed all of these people from true crime, all these serial killers and mass murderers and all these kind of things. And she comes down on the point of like, you're going to have all these different things where people try to describe people as evil, or they were born evil, or they like are, you know, inhuman in some way. And her thesis is just like, every single one of these people, every single one, to 100% of them, either had enormous brain trauma as a child, a horribly abusive life as a child, or both. And there isn't a single one who didn't have that going on with them, and there was also not a single one who attributed their like violence to that. They're all like, yeah, my dad used to throw bricks at me if I didn't wake up, but I don't think that has anything to do with what I'm up to, you know? Or like, it's that kind of thing where they're just like, no, it's probably, I didn't go to church enough. And yeah, my mom dressed me as a woman until I was 18, and she used to like put duct tape on my thighs to rip all the hair off of them. But I don't think that has anything to do with me as a person. Like, it's the most like disconnected thing. But just hearing this old woman tell you like, never listen to someone telling you that like a criminal is truly evil, because in the end, they are all just some poor abused person that like doesn't have the wherewithal or connections in society to make themselves better. And I think that's the kind of message I want to leave your listeners with, right? Is I know this is a crime podcast in the first, like I know you guys as a true
crime savant, I think it is the responsible thing to take from watching so much true crime is like, why are we so interested in watching true crime? And like, what can we learn as a society, like from all these like quote unquote
It's a guilty
villains?
Pleasure. It's the same thing. We watch anything that we know isn't good for us, but we like enjoy the dopamine it gives us when there's like a solution to the mystery it poses, or when there's a blow up between. When you watch Desperate Housewives, it's not like you're like, well, I'm learning quite a bit, you know? It's like, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see these two characters explode at each other, and they've been building up all season, and finally they're going at each other. It's show. You know, yeah, it Desperate is, Housewives. And for that same reason, it's like, as long as I think you can acknowledge that this isn't good for you, and if it's the only thing you ever consume, it's probably not healthy. But like, I think of it like, you know, chocolate or reality TV or anything that it's like having a little bit here and there, or all, you know, watching all of them all the time like myself. It can't be that bad for you. It's all
I wonder like, do you think people that have survived or have been deeply connected to those crimes, do you think they're like big true crime heads? Probably not.
I don't think they're big true crime heads. I think you're 100% right. But, and here's another recommendation, The Yogurtland Murders, great series on HBO.
That
another great name. Classic name.
Did you not watch it, Victor?
No, that's not real, right?
No, it is.
That one is
really
real.
Sad, of course.
Brutal crime. Let's not get into all the details. I can tell Carly is dying to say them all out loud.
Wait, speaking of true crime, there's something that I have to tell
Did
you
you do a
guys,
crime?
but I literally can't have it be
What?
recorded.
Okay,
I
we'll
didn't
talk
do
about
it.
that in just a few minutes.
Okay, guys.
Sorry,
follow
listener.
Well, if we had a Patreon, that would be hey, should we have a Patreon where you could
Yeah,
say
where
things
Victor
like
talks
that?
about doing crime.
No,
Yes.
I'm not the one that does it, but
Oh,
Okay, so I just
I know what you're gonna
on this Yogurtland murders thing, the
Yeah.
thing that you need to, they talk to the families and they ask them specifically that question, this thing of like, how do you feel about me making a documentary about this murder of your family member? And they all have the same answer, which is essentially like, yes, I don't like it, but I also have this weird thing where this tragedy happened to me, and every year that passes, more and more people seem to have the feeling of like, why aren't you getting past that? Or like, we can't keep talking about this. Or like, I don't want to keep revisiting your sadness and trauma. But if you're a mom whose kid died, it's like, you're going to want to talk about it forever. And so for some of them, they were like, I just really appreciate the opportunity for someone coming to me and saying like, just say everything you want to say about this thing that happened to you. And yes, the entertainment aspect of it, I think, is the sick part of it. But I do think there's this weird sort of like symbiotic relationship of like being able to speak about your trauma as well as then that person commodifying it. It's weird and
I like
scary,
that they talked
but
about it in that documentary because they tried to make a documentary about the yogurt land or the yogurt shop murders like 10 15 years ago, and then the woman making it was like, I can't exploit these people like this feels wrong. And then she gave the footage to another crew recently, and
they were like, we'd be happy to
finished it.
exploit
They're
them.
like,
No
don't worry,
problem.
we got it, girl. We'll take over from here.
Yeah.
But okay, we're reaching a point in the podcast where we have to ask you a big question, and you already touched on it by recommending some of your favorite true crime podcasts to people who are looking to get into true crime. But I'm loving the fact that you have reached a point in time, Stuart, in your career, in your life, where it's this time where you're filling your day with all your things. You're going, I have the opportunity to reestablish my routine, and I'm a person with all these things, and my ideal day would be possibly filled with every single one of these things because I'm a working actor. And it is an interesting place to be, and I'm sure some people can relate. Like, for the dawdlers of the podcast who find themselves with so many different passions and so many different things, like how would you recommend kind of filling your day? What would your ideal day be as a newly working actor, someone with a little more free time?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, isn't it? Because we yearn for free time as human beings. And again, this is coming from a person who, this is a very new state of living for me. This has been like the last few months since I got this gig. And before that, I had never not had jobs.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. It's like not necessarily becoming a working actor, but it's like for someone who has always wanted free time because they have all these things that they think they could fill their day, that they want to fill their day with. And then all of a sudden they have free time and you're like, what do I do?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be shocked to find that you actually hate free time. What you want is freedom. You want you want to be able to choose how you spend your time. But the more free time you actually have, even like, and I'm the laziest I love just like laying on a couch for hours on end. But the fact that like even I feel like after a day or two of that, I'm like, I gotta go walk around. I gotta go to a drive-in. I gotta go to a movie. I gotta go just like walk around the mall or something. I need to like exist in a world where other humans are walking past me. Like, it just is so interesting for me that like my dream for 28 years of my life was like to get a job where I didn't have to do anything. And now, don't get me wrong, there are times when we're shooting or working on things or recording VO where it's like it's actual work. But between those times, I do feel like an insane fucking person. And I know a lot of listeners are out there going like, maybe you should donate your time to a food kitchen or work on the street or no, I say.
Idea.
No, I say.
Hey, wait a minute.
Whoa, I didn't even think of that.
It's a really good idea.
You should do that.
Yeah, but those are the things that I actually do think I should be integrating into my time, is like a slight amount of volunteering as well as, who knows, maybe I start a drop shipping business, right? And I just start selling
a
like
crime documentary.
Ooh, a crime doc. Maybe I make a true crime. Maybe, and here's a pitch, guys, and cut this out if I end up taking this to the CW for a series. It's a true crime podcaster who doesn't have a story to solve, so they end up doing the crime themselves so that they can talk about it, and the podcast goes viral, but that also means that they might get caught for the crime they've done?
Oh, sorry. That is the premise of like season 2 of Only Murders in the Building. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Well,
fucking
hit me with a rock, man. I swear to God. That's it. Sorry, Steve.
They're true crime podcasters, so and that Tina
and
Fey,
they do the crime?
the whole thing.
I didn't know that was what the show was about.
Big part of it.
Is it only they only do murders?
Yeah, in the building. Yeah.
In that building?
It's a good show. It's a good show.
I love Selena Gomez.
Yes, me too. And God, can I say that Martin Short and Steve Martin are electric together? No one's
Victor, give me your
that.
take. Benny Blanco's face.
Oh my God, we can't do this. Stuart!
Victor, give me your hot take. I think he's hot in like a Cro-Mag way, you know?
What's Cro-Mag?
Okay.
I feel like you can't say that.
Well, Cro-Magnon? We were, we all come from them,
like-
Carly.
What?
I think he has
I'm
like
lost.
a caveman aesthetic that I think is hot.
He gives me like, what is that new form of early human that was just discovered?
Australopithecus something or another, some little monkey guy.
No, it begins with an N. It's like, oh my God, I forget.
Neanderthal.
This is good.
No, it's like, oh my God, what is their name?
Have you guys ever done a DNA test to see how much Neanderthal you have in your DNA?
I have a
can't
lot
say
of I have a lot of European DNA, so I'm
Okay.
assuming it's a lot.
That's rad, dude. Very European. That's sick. Cool.
I'm
I
also
wouldn't
very
say that
European,
personally. I wouldn't
Jared.
brag about that, but that's cool for you.
Stuart,
Hey, I'm 2% Egyptian.
Excuse you.
I just found out that. I'm 1% Albanian, so I just found that out.
Sit and spin, bitch.
Okay. And by the way, I'm 7%
Carly,
Great Britain.
and I want to bring this phrase into your podcast because Carly recently said it doing some improv, and I want this to be like a thing you can say and snap your finger kind of thing. It's her saying, go blow a load in the river. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I did say that during an improv rehearsal in our house. Yeah. What?
So that's a powerful one.
That's going on merch.
I'm glad I
That's
could give
going on
that one
merch
out to the
and
Dodlers.
Some people just need to go blow a load in a river.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think about what the early human was called.
Victor, you're on a computer. Look it up.
Oh yeah.
That's the IT boy right there coming in, trying to help.
Denisovan.
Oh, he found it.
What is it?
He gives me Denisovan vibes.
Oh, Denisovan. Yes.
Yes.
In a good way.
Oh, I love that. Well, so Stuart, we have had so much fun having you on the podcast today. I mean, it's been 6 years in the making of us dating and then you helping us get our bearings technologically, and then obviously you taking off into great fame as Justin from Stop and Shop.
Yeah,
guys,
that's that.
if you're on the East Coast, check him out whenever you're watching cable TV. It's really something special. If you see it, send us a video.
I know you guys have a lot of...
Say something.
Yeah,
You see
yeah.
Justin,
If you
say
see something,
something.
say something. Call the TSA if you've seen me in any commercial. They are,
We're
I'm
so
sure, working
proud
right
of
now.
you. We're
Because-
so proud of you.
Because you beat out Christy Nome for this.
Have you heard that?
NASCAR
I didn't know that they let that out, but yeah, it was between me or Christy Nome, and they were essentially like, do we want sort of like jovial, kind of like white guy dad energy from me, or do you want like, melting Nazi face at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark from Christy Nome?
Right.
She
It's
looks
like, do you
good.
want hilarious like Midwestern appeal,
Okay.
or do you want scary
Scary,
succubus?
really.
Yeah,
from
or do you
hell?
want like crime scene photo woman? She looks
Do
like
you
a
want-
crime scene.
Or do you want
Speaking of true
loaded-
crime,
Hey,
Or do you want the load that was found in the river?
yeah, do you want the load? Do you want the guy who shot the load in the river, or do you want the river load? And that's really the question. Jesus Christ.
part of a true crime documentary is they find a load in the river.
Detectives were worried when they found a load in the river. And then of course you cut over to the cop who's going like, what were we supposed to do? The thing was going right down the river.
So I threw it in my Dunkin' cup.
I put it in
found the
Dunkin'
load in the river in another county, so we couldn't.
We let it pass by.
It was
We
out of
couldn't
our
tell the other
jurisdiction,
county.
unfortunately. That cum was halfway to the Gulf of Mexico by now, friend.
Oh, we love you, Stewie. We love you, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you, Dutel. Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you, Stu.
Do Tell is produced and edited by Connor Hickox of Mixed Metaphor, with artwork by Gabrielle Tenorello and Andrew Lawler. IT support by Stuart Hicar, and theme music by Blake Sokoloff and Ari Levin.
Do
The
tell.
podcast.
The podcast.
Oh, Do Tell.
Do tell.